I am Comrade Nwedozie Elvis Chukwutem.
So where were you born?
I was born in Nwedozie, in Ndokwa East local government area of Delta State. As a youth, I grew up. I attended my primary school in Nwedozie before I left the community for my secondary education. You know, in those areas, in that period, the community, there was no light, no road, nothing. We were in abject poverty. But as somebody that was giving birth to in such community, we were able to adjust until finally we left the community.
Okay, so your parents, when your father in particular, was he a polygamous man or?
Yeah, my father was a polygamous man. He married more than one wife.
So how many of you he had before he started giving birth to children?
Pardon?
How many children he had?
My father had about 13 children.
13 children.
13 children.
You are number what?
Number 7. My mother is Mrs. Victoria Nwedozie.
Is she alive?
She's still alive.
She's from where?
She's from Okpayoluchi.
Okpayoluchi,
yeah.
Okay. But your father has passed on?
My mother died in...
Your father?
Yeah, it's late.
Okay.
Yeah, I attended Honorable Primary School, Honorable. When I finished, I left for Matade College at Shaka. Then from Matade College at Shaka, I proceeded to Government College, Bomadi. It was there I finished my secondary education in 1983. I was admitted for 1 year pivotal course at a Senebe Teachers College.
At
a Senebe Teachers College,
okay.
Bomadi,
okay.
1983. I finished in June 1984.
Okay.
I got my TC2 in 1985. Then I went back to the village because after that year there was embargo on teaching employment in Delta State. I went back to Anabo and started farming until 1990 when I was employed into Bender State Teaching Service. In 1991, I went to Anambra State College of Education, Oka. Now, Nwedozie College of Education in Sube. I came out in 1995. In year 2002, I got admission into the University of Niger, Nsukka, and I graduated in 2006. At the College of Education, I read English language and educational psychology. That at my degree level, I read education, guidance, and counseling.
Okay.
I started my life as a teacher in 1990. I taught for 20 years. In 2010, an oil company came to my community, Sterling Oil Exploration and Energy Production Company Limited. They wrote a letter to my community that they want somebody to represent them as a community liaison officer. Based on that, I was recommended by my community, and I took up that employment in 2010, and that's where I am still working to date.
Wow, so you did not retire as a teacher?
No.
In other words, you are still working?
I just left the teaching job. I resigned.
You resigned?
Yes.
Why you resign?
I resigned.
You angrily resigned?
Not angrily. There was petitions.
Okay.
People were writing to the ministry, to my company, that I want to take over whatever that is not my own, that I'm still occupying my position as a teacher and at the same time working as a community liaison officer in my company. Okay. Based on that, I said,
so the government did not pension you?
No, I was not pensioned.
But 20 years?
21.
21 years for that matter. You were pensioned?
That is what I want to pursue any moment from now, because I'm due for pension.
Yes.
I started my life as a youth leader for some years. I was in charge of the youth in my community. I was in charge of the youth in my kingdom. Though because of my position as a teacher, I never agreed to hold any position. But I am one of the youth leaders as far as that community is concerned. And up to date, I am still their patron, even if I am no longer a youth leader. After my leadership role as a youth leader, I became a community development committee member from my community. I was the secretary for more than 15 years. I was also appointed and elected in my community development committee 5 times. I served there as 2-time member. I served as the financial secretary. I served as a secretary and also served my last tenure in 2010 as the public relations officer. It was my antecedent that made my community to recommend me. They said, come, you have been working for this service community without any payment. We know that if you are there, you will represent us very well. By then I was objecting that I have a job. Why not give this job to those of them that do not have job? They said, no, it is because of the trust we have in you. Come and represent us. I told them, please, give me some time to consider. They gave me 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks, I went back to them and told them that I am ready to accept the offer. And I resumed in that company on the 6th of January 2010. Yes, actually, I said earlier I was born and brought up in Onabo before I grew up to know that my father is from Akpai. I was about 25 years before we relocated from Onabo to Akpai. It is what you do, whatever you are doing. People are watching you. Whatever you say, your actions, people are watching you. From my youth to date, I am not boasting. I live by example. They know what I can do. Even as far as my company is concerned, they know that if I say yes, that is my yes. If I say no, that is my no. Even as far as the ego of Papa is concerned, I know there was a time he recommended me for a chieftaincy title. I told him as of then I was too young to handle such position. My leadership style speaks for me. A lot of volume. They know me. I am somebody that don't change. If I tell you I'm with you, I am always with you. If I tell you I'm not with you, I am not with you. I don't collect bribe. I don't cheat. That is why my people always have trust in me. I have met with several of them in several occasions. I have held several positions in my community. When I was a financial secretary, when that first phase of the IPP was done, I was a financial secretary to my community. At the end of every year, I used to give account. Since after my government, nobody has ever came up in my community to say, this is what we have. This is the income, this is the expenditure, and this is the balance. That is how I was able to be recommended by my community for anything that is coming to the town. As soon as I resumed in January 2010, my community, that time I was the public relations officer to my community. At the same time, the CLO to the company. My community came for a meeting and requested for employment. They said for the fact that they have not started production, they cannot employ anybody for now. Immediately after that meeting, the second week, the company employed 5 persons from Lagos office. They resumed. I just picked out my phone, called my community. My company said there is no employment for now, but 5 persons resumed. My community came to the company, they negotiated. That 5 persons was agreed, was given out as a slot to my community in that meeting. At the end of that meeting, they said 2 persons should resume. 2 persons resumed. We are waiting for the next day to resume before our tenure expired. The government that took over from us never finished our, our Nigerian government leadership is no continuity. If you come, you start your own. If you start your own. So the government that took over from us did not continue from where we stopped. Yet, they inherited the MOU that we signed, which is still running till 2020. It was just 2020 that I got another MOU since 2010 that I left that position. Then in human capital development, I can beat my chest that in my community, I have been able to reach the less privileged. I have 7 persons living with me that are not my biological child. One of them is graduating this year in Delta State Polytechnic, Ozoro. The second one got his ND in Delta State Polytechnic, Agwash. The third one finished his education in secondary education. He wrote WAEC 4 times and never passed. 2 of them. One is learning welding, the other one is learning mechanic. I said, this is what I can do for my people now that I don't have physical cash to donate. Let me use it to empower them. As a community liaison officer, moreover, my course I read is guidance and counseling. Majorly, we are good in conflict resolution. It is a part of psychology. We study you, we know your problem, and we prefer solution. It is not late for you to take or not. In terms of peace and settlement, I know the number of cases that I was able to handle with other members to settle in my community. Even outside the community, there was a land case between Apayo Magolo and Obecha in Uchi. There was a land case between Omwazo and Omogo in Anwabo, which I spearheaded, took my people, took time, spent my money to make sure that all these cases came to an end. And by the special grace of God, I know it is a record the number of cases that I was able to handle and settle amicably in my community and within Anwabo and Uchi.
Can you give us 2 of the instances?
The land case between Omwazo and Omogo in Anwabo, it was with my intervention that I took my community to Akwayo Base to settle them. We have another one between Omagolo and Obechuchi. I intervened also. We have another case between Obechuchi and Umugo family in Akwayo Base. It was in my help of my intervention that we came to a logical conclusion.
Okay. So, as a patron to NEA, what have been your contributions to the peaceful coexistence of NEA?
That NEA patron just came up not quite long. It was because of my personal relationship with the NEA president. The other day when he said, I told him that the NEA president, I taught him when I was a teacher. Yes. And I also mentioned Comrade Amecha Sogun, who is the deputy president of NIC. I taught him also in the school. So with that honor, with the respect, and when they were under me, what I was able, the knowledge, the experience they got from my teaching, that was whenever they are, they will always like to accommodate me.
What is the name of your wife?
Mrs. Rose Nwedozie.
Just one wife?
No.
Okay.
I have them 3.
3.
In terms of my duty in my company, I have been able to make sure that any problem that I know I can handle without involving the top management, I have been discharging my duty without fear or favor. And as soon as there is any issue, sometimes I don't need to call for a meeting. It is a just phone call. Who is that? What is your problem? They will tell me, I say, okay, I am booking you for a meeting on Tuesday next week. As soon as they come to that meeting or that Tuesday, it is now the duty of the management to resolve those ones that cannot handle. And apart from that, as soon as I came into that company in 2010, in 2011, we brought Union Pengasan, Petroleum and National Gas Industry for System for Nigeria. When we started at the chapter level, I was elected as the chapter chairman in 2011. And in 2012, November, I was elected as the vice chairman of the entire branch of the company. After about 6 months, the chairman resigned and I come on board as the substandard branch chairman from 2013 to 2015. We had another election. I contested and failed. Another person took over. Not until this year we had another election on the 25th of June 2020. It was the same members that said, Oga, you did it before. Since you were there, what we were able to achieve in our CBA is still what we are benefited of to date. Come and complete your job. So by the grace of God, by June this year, I was also elected as a branch chairman of Pengassan Sterling Oil. Immediately after that, we had in Pengassan, we have producers forum, companies that are producing oil and gas in Nigeria. We have service group, and we have NNPC and regulatory bodies. In our own is producers forum because we are into production of oil and gas. In producers forum this year, we also had an election. I was also elected as producers forum PIRO and IRO, Pengassan, Nigeria. Thank you, sir. I appreciate those that recommended me for this presidential award. And I want to also thank your group for accepting my nomination. If not for the acceptance, I will not be honored as one of your nominees for the award. So I will say thank you and God bless.